welcome to my channel. I'm a near-death experiencer, and since sharing my experience, I've gotten a lot of comments and questions, and people concerned, wondering if I was tricked to come back, if this is actually a prison planet. So I will just let you know my perspective and what I went through personally. So, you know, take it or leave it, but hopefully this helps. So I do definitely know that there are non-physical forces and entities that are parasitic and they do feed off of our energy during these dark phases in our Earth's evolution. So we go through these periods of enlightenment and then we descend into density, into materialism and separation. And during these darker cycles, because our awareness is lower or our consciousness is a bit lower, it's definitely a lot easier to harvest our energy, to influence us to feel things, to invest our energy in things blindly because we're not aware of what's going on and we're just kind of following whatever feels good, or really kind of stuck in the lower three chakra system where we're just trying to survive, and kind of in the fight or flight type of energies. But we are afforded such valuable experiences during these dark periods, experiences that we, in my perception, can only have during these periods on this planet. Each of the planets that we can have lifetimes on, I feel, have different cycles and different energies and different archetypes. And we incarnate into this earth to experience certain things. And during the densification time, the real material, darker phases, we forget who we really are. We forget what our true abilities are. And of course, that benefits some who actually carried the knowledge through secret societies of who we really are and how, the evolution works. So these entities, they know that we're at the end of a cycle and that we are waking up. We are wiping the sleep from our eyes, and we are able to see now the manipulation and see these things that have been going on that we weren't aware of before. And we're starting to be able to be aware of our own energy bodies and able to integrate more and more of our soul into these physical vessels. But there were specific lessons, I feel, to be learned during this era. And at the end of every era, it's kind of this initiation point on whether you learned the lessons of the time or not. And I feel like every lifetime that we have, we make pre-birth plans in a sense of like a blueprint, because I very much believe in free will. So we have these things that we want to learn and we want to do. And then when we incarnate into these really dense times, of course, we forget all of it. So it is the hardest test to, really find your way through. But there are so many beautiful teachings that we can refer to from these great avatars that have incarnated, these great teachers who and these mythologies that help us to understand these different archetypal energies and these different lessons, and to navigate our way through this third dimension. Really what it all comes down to, though, is love, and leading with love and compassion and forgiveness and a moral compass, not harming others, not harming yourself. Really, these golden rules that we all know about, these are the lessons of our era. So can we treat others as we want to be treated? Can we still love those who hurt us? Can we forgive them? Can we forgive ourselves? When I had my near-death experience, I went through a very intense life review. And I was shown every time I went against my inner voice, every time I reacted because of my own traumas and my own narratives, my own stories that I had been brought up to believe or told myself. And I had to face that and reckon with that. And I was shown everything that happened in my life up to that point from another perspective that removed all of the narratives, all of the trauma. It was washed away, but I first had to look at it and re-experience it. And I feel like, when we make these blueprints for our lives and things that we want to accomplish, things we want to do, when we go against that using our free will, we create karma or energetic entanglements with other people. And then when we have our life review and we experience that and we remember the plan, from my perspective, you want to come back. And in fact, you need to come back if you want to continue in your evolutionary trajectory and continue to incarnate with the earth along her evolutionary path. Then you have to master the lessons of the era. And so I feel like transmuting and alchemizing those experiences is something that we want to do. At the end of my life review, I was presented with a choice, and I saw some possible future timelines during that time. Suffice to say, I knew that it would be a lot more difficult to come back, to continue living in this time, in this body. I knew that I would face hardships going forward, but I also was shown how I could do good in the world, how I could help others, how even just sharing my experience might help somebody to realign with their blueprint and remember who they really are, and that they in fact chose to come here because they can, because you have the capacity to master this. So it's a really tricky subject, because I definitely understand that there are influences all around us all the time. And these other aspects of us, these darker aspects of us, or these, beings that were created through collective consciousness or belief systems, or, beings that failed the previous initiations, are existing all around us, and we're kind of converging at this point. but we're becoming aware of this. This is a gift. This is beautiful that we are aware of that we are sovereign and we have a choice where we put our energy and what we pay attention to, what narratives we subscribe to and believe, and how we see ourselves. Do we see ourselves as victims of circumstance and that we are just trapped in this world, this horrible place? Or we can see it as an opportunity to master the hardest lesson, the hardest school, if you will. So I resonate more with the earth as a school concept based on my experiences, because I saw what I wanted to do in my relationships with these people. I saw how confused I had gotten throughout my life and how I had started to see myself as a victim of these relationships. And it totally reframed my perspective because I had actually planned a lot of it before I came into this world in order to grow in the ways that I needed to grow and in order to assist others in their lessons. So those are my thoughts. I was clearly also shown that we are moving into a new era. So this is the stage where we are waking up to all of these influences, and we are called to face the shadow, both collectively and individually, and to transmute that through love and forgiveness. We came here to learn and to teach and to grow and to experience and to evolve. And what would evolution be without challenges? We couldn't have asked for a greater challenge, it's true, than incarnating during the darkest period on Earth. But I believe that we have the capacity to master this, and that is why we are here. And so I don't feel like I got tricked to come back, because I was shown that it was going to be hard, and that I got the sense that if I chose not to come back, that I might be able to move on to something different. But I don't really know, to be honest, what would have happened if I didn't come back. Obviously, I don't know. I just know that what I saw were options that would, what people around me would experience if I didn't come back and if I did, and kind of how, if I made the decision and the choice to come back and be of service to them and to forgive, how that would transmute all of that karma that I had accumulated, by not understanding in the moment. So I do feel like it's a choice to come here, but I do also feel like we are bound to a certain degree by our entanglements, our energetic entanglements with other people. So really what it all comes down to is that whole, Egyptian weighing of the heart after you die. How heavy is your heart? How much love and light and forgiveness are you holding versus the darker aspects? So I feel like that is what brings us back here over and over, is because we have this desire to grow and to learn, and we have these entanglements energetically with other souls, and we set the intention to come in to transmute that energy. And because we're in this really dense period, obviously it's really, really hard. But we are moving out of that now. And all of that karma, all of that confusion is starting to lift. This is an amazing opportunity for us, I feel, as souls, to look at everything, all of our creations, all of our thoughts during this cycle, and decide what we're going to do with that, and to really come into our sovereignty and our true power. I feel like the point is to incorporate as much of our higher self into these vessels as possible, and to radiate love to all that would have it, to help each other, to grow together. So those are my thoughts on it. Let me know what you all think in the comments. Should be interesting. So hopefully this is helpful and gives you some hope, that we did want these experiences and we did need them in some capacity, or those around us, those that we have soul contracts with, needed this, and maybe we're being of service to them. So we have to really look at how we see ourselves and make sure that we see ourselves as powerful beings of light, sovereign and strong, and that we can accomplish so much more than the outside forces would have you believe. So thank you so much for joining me. And as always, so much love to you.